us here on Times Now. This is Breaking Ground and I'm Hina Gambhir. And viewers, we are going to begin with some big breaking news that we are getting for you from Rajasthan. And we are getting information about a fighter jet that has crashed near the Churu district of Rajasthan. That's the latest update coming in. And those are the first set of visuals that you can see on your screens right now. And this is a developing story. As of now, we do not really know what kind of fighter jet really was it. This is the news that has just come. In fact, the cause of the crash is also unknown right now, and we do not have any confirmation on the condition of the pilots as well. How many were there inside this particular fighter jet? But this is a developing story. A fighter jet has crashed in near Rajasthan's Churu, and right now what we can tell you is that rescue teams have already reached the spot. That's the latest update that we are getting for you. Let me go across to my colleague Lakbir joining us on the broadcast for more on this. Lakbir, क्या ताजा जानकारी आप हमें दे सकते हैं इस प्लेन क्रैश के मामले में?
जी देखिए, राजस्थान का चूरू जिला और वहाँ की रतनगढ़ तहसील के राजल देसर के पास का ये पूरा घटनाक्रम है, जहाँ पर बेहद ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण ये पूरी घटना घटित हुई, क्योंकि ये जो फाइटर जेट था अग्निका, ये क्रैश हुआ और इसमें 2 लोगों के हताहत होने की अभी खबर आ रही है। हालांकि अभी पायलट को लेकर हम नहीं कर पाएंगे, लेकिन साफ तौर पर ये कहा जा रहा है, जिस प्रकार के विजुअल्स आ रहे हैं, कि 2 लोग इसमें हताहत हुए हैं और साफ तौर पर ये जैसे ही फाइटर जेट क्रैश हुआ तो निश्चित रूप से आग भी लगी और साफ तौर पर जो मौके पर पुलिस रवाना हो गई है, लोकल जो एसपी हैं वो भी वहां के लिए रवाना हुए हैं और जो संबंधित यूनिट है उनको भी इत्तला दे दी गई है, चाहे वो एयरफोर्स क्यों ना हो या फिर आर्मी क्यों ना हो, ताकि एग्जामिन किया जा सके कि किस तरीके से पूरा घटनाक्रम घटित हुआ, कैसे ये पूरा क्रैश हुआ, क्या कौन सा फायर एयरक्राफ्ट था और निश्चित रूप से कौन कौन लोग इसमें सवार थे, क्योंकि साफ तौर पर ये शिनाख्त भी एयरफोर्स को करनी होगी कि कौन कौन लोग थे, कहाँ ये एयरक्राफ्ट जा रहा था, कौन सा एयरक्राफ्ट था, क्योंकि अभी जो प्रथम दृष्टया जानकारी आ रही है वो प्रोबेबली ये बताया जा रहा है कि जैगवार एयरक्राफ्ट ये था, लेकिन अब जब तमाम जो एयरफोर्स के आला अधिकारी पहुंचेंगे, पुलिस के आला अधिकारी जब एग्जामिन करेंगे तो ये कंफर्म हो पाएगा कि किस प्रकार से पूरा घटनाक्रम घटित हुआ और कौन कौन लोग इसमें सवार थे।
लखबीर, आप हमारे साथ बने रहिए। तो आप कह रहे हैं कि सूत्रों के हवाले से खबर आ रही है, इट कैन बी अ जैगुआर फाइटर एयरक्राफ्ट, बट ऑफ कोर्स वील वेट फॉर ऑफिशियल confirmation on that front. Lakbir, stay on with us. Let me go across to my colleague Priyank Tripathi as well, who's also joining us for more on this. Priyank, what more details can you share with us? Any fresh update that you've managed to get on what is happening right now? What could have led to this plane crash, this jet crash?
Yes, Hina, what sources have been suggesting that it was a Jaguar fighter jet of the Indian Air Force, and if that is so, if that has been confirmed by the Indian Air Force, then certainly this is a major concern for the defense establishment here, because there have been 2 instances of crash which has happened with Jaguar in the year 2025. One was in April and second one was in March. If this is Jaguar, then certainly this could be the 3rd incident of the crash of Jaguar aircraft, the fighter jet aircraft of the Indian Air Force. What we were trying to get to know from the local authorities, that whether they have actually confirmed the identity of the injured person who was found near the particular location. The locals have reported, because we have to understand, they were the first responders, because they could see this particular crash landing, and they were the one who rushed to the location, and they moved to wherever they could actually see that someone could have been there as a survivor of this unfortunate air crash which happened in Churu. Responding to that, the local police team has also been rushed to the location. In fact, they have reached, and the lookout for the the pilots who were there on board to this aircraft is still going on. Whether we will be getting some unfortunate news or the pilot could have survived is certainly something for which we'll have to wait for that. But this is certainly something that, looking at the terrain, it was quite possible that from the high altitude it could have been looking at as a very plain terrain, because this is a location which is in Rajasthan's Churu, where you have not a plain area, but from a high altitude this could appear as a plain terrain where the pilot could have attempted to land the aircraft. What could have led to the scenario could be found out when the proper inquiry will be going on. But sources have been suggesting that yes, it was a Jaguar. If that is so, that this could be a major concern looking at the April and May incident of the crash.
Absolutely. An important point you have raised there, Priyank Tripathi. Request you to please stay on with us. My colleague Rishab is also live with us right now. But before I go across to Rishab and Priyank for more inputs on this, let's explain to our viewers the first set of visuals, in fact, that we have got from, this area where this fighter jet crashed. It was near Churu in Rajasthan, and there you can see and the first visuals of the wreckage of this particular fighter jet. And in fact, in another video that we have got for you, we've got the locals of that particular area gathering here, and there you can see it, led to, the aircraft, the fighter jet, in fact, catching fire as well. And there you can see the fire being reported there, and all the people that you see around are the locals of this particular area. And this is the site, in fact, where this particular fighter jet had crashed, and we can see how paths can be seen in this particular area. And now as we speak, the cops have already arrived, the rescue teams have already reached the spot, and now we are waiting for an official word from the authorities there as to which particular aircraft was really it. But here you can see the wreckage of this particular fighter jet that can be seen, that we have in fact highlighted for our viewers as well. And this is what we have as of now. And as Priyank Tripathi was bringing to us some more inputs, sources suggest that it was in fact a Jaguar fighter jet of the Indian Air Force. We are waiting for a confirmation from the Indian Air Force on this particular aspect, but it has crashed near Churu area in Rajasthan, and soon after that the jet caught fire, and there you can see the locals reaching the spots immediately after that, and then rescue teams have also reached the spot. Let me go across to my colleague Rishab, in fact, who's live with us. We have Priyank Tripathi, who continues to be with us as well. Rishab, what more details have you managed to gather as far as this incident is concerned?
Well, Hina, what we're given to understand that a Jaguar, aircraft of Indian Air Force has been crashed in Churu. This is what the sources privy to the development is suggesting. I'm trying to show you something here on my phone. If my camera person Harish can zoom in, this is from the crash site, and this clearly showcases that this was a Jaguar aircraft, which now this is coming to light from the crash site. This is a part of the Jaguar flight that has crashed in Churu in Rajasthan, is what we are given to understand. The sources privy to this whole development is confirming to Times Now that it was a Jaguar flight. Further details are yet to come in. The condition of pilots are yet to come in. We cannot confirm anything in regard to the pilots that is being reported, on social media or in some fragments of media as well. We'll have to wait for an official confirmation on the situation of the pilot and in what circumstances this crash has taken place. Remember, this is the third such crash that has happened in this one. If this is definitely a Jaguar, now that it is being clarified, it is a Jaguar. April, May, and now one more. We lost a very young pilot who had gotten engaged just weeks before the crash that happened in the month of April in Jamnagar. He ensured that the aircraft does not crash in the populous area, and ensured that it gets out of the city, saving multiple lives that night. When his ill-fated flight crashed during the night sortie. Now this one more aircraft or Jaguar fighter jet has crashed, and now we are still awaiting further details that comes in from Indian Air Force to confirm what exactly happened, how exactly happened, where did it take off from. The location where the crash has been reported looks like this jet would have taken off from the Ambala Air Base, which is again a Jaguar Air Base for Indian Air Force. It could have taken off from there and would have been on routine sortie or a trainee sortie in the Churu area where it got crashed. So we'll have to wait for more details to come in. As of now, on sources, this is not a confirmation that has come in from Indian Air Force. This is coming in from the sources within the defense establishment that a Jaguar jet has crashed in Churu. The condition of the pilots are still unknown. The reason for the crash is still unknown.
Right, stay on with us, Rishabh. Let's also tell our viewers about what we know so far as this particular incident is concerned. As Rishabh and Priyank were telling us just now, viewers, that what we have learned from sources is that it was a Jaguar fighter jet of the Indian Air Force, perhaps near Churu, that crashed this afternoon, just a few minutes ago. The cause of the crash is yet to be ascertained. We do not know what really led to this particular crash. The Indian Air Force, viewers, has also not issued any kind of formal statement yet. And what we are getting for you are unconfirmed reports. And we do not have a confirmation about the condition of the pilots in this particular case. It is unclear whether the two pilots or, whether there was one pilot and a civilian. We do not really know. So as of now, we don't have details of the crew members of this particular fighter jet. Visuals clearly from the crash site are something that we are bringing for you. On one side of the screen, you can see visuals of the wreckage of this particular fighter jet that crashed. On the other side, you can see some locals around this particular spot where the crash took place. And this visual, shows how smoke is billowing, in fact, from the crash spot, and local authorities also rushed to this particular area. And as we speak, the rescue operations are underway. It's a developing story. More and more inputs are still awaited. What we can tell you right now, as per sources, is that it was a Jaguar aircraft, in fact, of the Indian Air Force that has crashed allegedly, and we are still waiting for an official word from the Indian Air Force. Rishabh continues to be with us right now. We have an aviation expert joining us on the broadcast as well, Surjit Panesar. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. Extremely, tragic incident has been reported in Rajasthan near Churu. Your first reactions looking at the visuals that we have?
You see, I wish and pray the pilot say he should have ejected from the aircraft, where these fighters have a provision immediately where pilot can eject the seat and land safely with a parachute. Only after the pilot is alive, and they have some recorders on this aircraft also. Only after investigation they can find out what is the reason. Was he on a training exercise? Training exercise and all. This has to be established only after the immediate preliminary report comes in.
But sir, as of now, the initial information that we have seems to suggest that it was a Jaguar fighter jet belonging to the Indian Air Force. We're still waiting for an official word from the IAF on this. But, if indeed this is a Jaguar fighter jet as per reports, then the third one to crash in this year itself.
Yeah, it's a very sad thing. It's a very advanced fighter aircraft. But it has a provision for the pilot in any emergency, he can eject from the aircraft. Now, whether he ejected and safely landed or not, we don't know it. As you said, nothing is known. But I wish the pilot is safe. If the pilot is safe, you can also tell the reason, or they can find out some, because the aircraft also has a flight recorder. They will come to know what has happened with the aircraft. Because these aircraft, their lift is only from the engine, Their wings are very small. So if the engine has failed, they have no lift, and he has to eject immediately. There's a switch by with the seat, he can come out with a parachute and land safely. No, only after the initial report, preliminary report, whether the pilot is alive or not, then only we can establish the reason for this crash.
Well, absolutely. Mr. Panesar, appreciate you joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective on this. Let me go back to my colleague Rishabh, who continues to be with us as well at this point in time. Rishabh, any further details that you can confirm for our viewers in terms of the condition of the pilot? Do we have any official word yet?
No, Hina, nothing has come in as of now officially from Indian Air Force or Ministry of Defence. We have been trying to get in touch with every spokesperson of Indian Air Force or Ministry of Defence. There is no concrete info that is coming in. The info that has come in is also trickling in via sources, and they have only suggested that one Indian Air Force Jaguar fighter jet has crashed in Churu in Rajasthan. Further details are yet to be ascertained. This is also coming in
Right.
from a
Mishap, I'm just
high-ranking
interrupting you there. Request you to stay on with us. We are also now joined by Wing Commander S. Sudhakaran, who's an aviation expert. Sir, good afternoon. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. We're getting reports that a Jaguar fighter jet, we've lost that line. We'll try and reconnect with him and get you more details. Now, viewers, if indeed it was a Jaguar fighter jet that has crashed in Churu in Rajasthan, then definitely it is a cause of concern, because then it is going to be the third such fighter jet to crash, within this year. As my colleague Priyank Tripathi was telling us earlier, the first one happened in April, and then there was another one that happened in March as well. And now in the month of July as well, we are getting reports of another Jaguar fighter jet crashing like this. Wing Commander Praful Bakshi is joining us on the phone line as well. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. We're getting news of a Jaguar fighter jet crashing near Churu in Rajasthan. As of now, no information has come officially from the Indian Air Force. But if that's the case, the third one to crash this year itself, your first thoughts, sir?
It's very sad to hear the well-proven aircraft crashing. Jaguar has been proven itself. I hope the pilot is safe. But the question here is that Jaguar is a very effective combat aircraft. It basically belongs to the deep penetration strike aircraft category, which involves a lot of low flying. Basic job is to go carry out low-level strikes, and it doesn't go carry out high-level exercises, etc. It's a low-level strike aircraft. It means it flies very low. Now, Churu area and that entire area where the crash has taken place, that is known for birds. No, not very heavy bird activity, but the bird activities are there, especially during the morning time and the evening time, if the aircraft is flying low, because the birds go to their feeding area in the morning and come back to their nests in the evening area. So at that time, the low flying is generally avoided. So question is, we have to check up whether accident investigation takes place as to what was the reason. There's a black box that will tell us. The pilot's last, transmission will let us know. Unfortunately, you don't have that information yet, but that will be available. So one can make out what had happened. But we have to know the aircraft is also turning old, and replacement of Jaguar is also on plans in the coming years. They have already planned out that how the Jaguars will also be replaced. But till such time they are flying, we have to make sure that their accident are curtailed. 3 accidents this year probably doesn't speak very not an encouraging thing, though I don't say it's very high, but not very encouraging at all. So this has to be seen. So I personally feel the low-flying accident due to bird hit is a very common phenomenon. Jaguar has been affected by that a number of times because of the way it carries out exercise. But yes.
All right. Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, request you to please stay on with us. We have Wing Commander S. Sudhakaran, who's an aviation expert, also now joining us on the broadcast. Good afternoon, sir. We lost the line earlier when we were trying to connect with you. But your initial thoughts on the information that we've got, and it looks like it was indeed a Jaguar fighter jet of the Indian Air Force that has crashed. And as of now, what we have is the visuals that show the wreckage of this particular fighter jet. No confirmation about the condition of the pilots here, and no official statement from the IAF as well. Your first thoughts, sir?
See, the Jaguar has for the Indian Air Force, it's been a relatively reliable aircraft. It's not had that level of accident stroke incidents as compared to the MiG series. But having said that, it's when accidents happen that people come to realize the nature of the job that the pilots undertake, the kind of every time they take the aircraft, there is really no guarantee that they'll land back. That's the threat that comes with the job. It's absolutely very difficult for me to comment as to why this has happened, because the Jaguar is a dual engine Rolls-Royce turbo maker, Mark, I think it's 811 turbojet, and then it was designed jointly by the British and the French. It's of the 1960s vintage, and it is likely to be phased out by the early 2030s. It's at the verge of getting phased out. But having said that, it is a very important part of our air power, because today, if you have to, in an offensive, in a war situation, if you have to do an offensive strike capability, the Jaguar is the only aircraft which can actually do a low-level, deep penetration strike capability, and it also has a capability to carry a nuclear payload. So it is a very versatile aircraft. It's a very proven aircraft. But then, yeah, it is. Its design is of a very old vintage. So I really don't know whether it is a technical failure, because it's too early to comment. I just happened to hear the news 5 minutes back. Actually, I'm in an airport station right now. So, there are a lot of chatter going on, but then we really don't know. We'll have to keep our fingers crossed to see what exactly has happened.
But, sir, given the fact that this is the third such incident involving a Jaguar fighter jet in 2025 itself, perhaps needs some kind of detailed investigation as to what's really going wrong?
But trust me, the Indian Air Force doesn't leave any corners open. It does. Every time there is an accident, they do a very serious job. That's why the Air Force has been able to operate with a relatively high level of security and safety, considering the kind of flying that they do. Indian Air Force is one of the Air Force which does monumental levels of flying year on year. And to have this level of track record, it goes without saying that our technicians, the ground crew, the pilot training, everything is top-notch. So they wouldn't leave any stones unturned to understand why this happened. But then please understand that these things do happen. And considering that these aircrafts have been operating for over 30, 40 years, it's not a joke. And it's, when an accident happens, yes, we tend to point fingers. Yes, we need to look into, because as I told you, the accident, any aircraft accident happens due to multitude of reasons, and we'll have to see why this happened, and if there were any things that were overlooked. Those things have only after the incident, because at the end of the day, I'm given to understand we've lost some lives here, and it's never good. It's never a good feeling to lose, your brother, and specifically in accidents. We don't want to lose people in accidents.
Absolutely, sir.
So we have to wait for the investigation, and then soon we'll get to know.
All right. Wing Commander S. Sudhakaran, appreciate you joining us here on Times Now and sharing with us your perspective. And Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, thank you very much for your perspective as well. Let me go back to my colleague Rishabh, who continues to be with us at this point in time. Rishabh, so the picture that you were showing to us earlier, we are showing it to our viewers as well. And it is now, in a way, looking at this picture, confirmed that it was indeed a Jaguar, aircraft, fighter jet that has crashed near Churu in Rajasthan. Any official word that you've managed to get from the authorities there who are at the spot right now, and what's really happening at the site as we speak?
Well, as of now, there is no confirmation that has come in from Indian Air Force. See, the confirmation is not going to come in very early. Reason that, IAF will have to ascertain a lot of things. Which aircraft was it? Many suggest it's Jaguar now. From where did it take off? Who the pilot was? What were the last checks? What could be the possible reason for a crash? All this will be ascertained before an official announcement is what we are given to understand. The condition of pilot will also be being taken into consideration for that matter. Many like us who have their families in Air Force. I have someone very close to me who who flies Jaguar. Also, all of us are keeping our fingers crossed for the safety of the pilots who were in Jaguar. What we're given to understand, it could be a twin-seater trainer Jaguar that could have crashed, is what now the news is coming. So as of now, nothing confirmed has come in. We are still waiting for Indian Air Force to confirm the details of this crash and what led to this crash and how the pilots are or how the pilot is. That is also not confirmed whether it was a single-seater Jaguar which was out on sortie, or was it a twin-seater Jaguar out on training. So that is also something that needs to be ascertained. So a lot of things need to be ascertained right now. All fingers crossed right now for the pilots who were on board this Jaguar aircraft. The fighter jet, where did it take off from? Either it could have taken off from Jamnagar or would have taken off from Ambala, the two western squadrons that we have for Jaguar. Sometime in 1970s, these Jaguars started coming into Air Force. And as the experts were also pointing out, that Jaguars are war-proven horse for India. They have been, something that was way too, important during Operation Safed Sagar, during Kargil. Jaguars were also very clear. Many suggest that if Wing Commander Abhinandan wouldn't have been shot down during post-Pulwama, there could have been another airstrike in offing within a day, and Jaguars would have been doing that for India. So Jaguar is a very, very important, very well-proven aircraft for India that has been serving in Indian Air Force for almost 4.5 decades now, or for that matter, more than that. Full squadron began sometime in 1980s, but the first flight started coming in 1970s itself. So Jaguars are not mixed. Mix are, as many suggest that mix are flying coffins. Jaguars are not flying coffins. Jaguars are one of the best aircraft that we have had and have used in combat situations. So three crashes have taken place this year for Jaguar. But having said that, one need to ascertain what really happened, what led to this crash.
Absolutely. We're still waiting for an official word as to what really caused it, an official word on the casualty count as well. As of now, viewers, what we can tell you, according to sources, it was a Jaguar fighter jet that crashed in Rajasthan's Churu district, and as soon as this incident took place, police teams and rescue teams were rushed to the spot as well. Thank you, Rishabh, for your inputs on the story. Heading into a short break, our focus will continue to be on this developing story from Rajasthan. Don't go anywhere.